What's going on, guys? Welcome back. NFL Week 8. Yesterday, earlier in the week, whatever, I released my Thursday night football Falcons and Panthers video. Today is going to be a lot different, a lot bigger. This is going to be the main NFL slate the rest of the week. We're going to loop all the Sunday games in here in one video. Promise I won't make it too long. Sundays, there's a lot going on, so we're going to get absolutely right to it. Remember, your picks should differ from mine. That's what makes it fun. Don't come at me because my picks are different. They should be different. Hopefully you win more money than I do. All right, we are going to start with the Colts and the Detroit Lions. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites. On paper, obviously, the Colts are a better team, top to bottom. Colts, I believe, really play down to their competition. They've had close games with the Jags, the Browns, and the Bengals. Not the greatest teams. Philip Rivers had one of his best games last week, and I think that's going to continue against the Lions. Lions had a great game last week. Falcons, again, and we're not going to talk about them because they hurt my heart. Lions made a great comeback to win that game by 1. But again, before that, if Gurley would have fallen down like he was trying to, the Lions would have scored 16 points against the pitiful Falcons defense. So I'm not sold on Detroit. I don't think they had a good week last week. I think they got very lucky. Yes, they did what they needed to do to win the game. But Colts, a better team. I think only 2.5 points here. I think it's kind of crazy. There's the full lines. 2.5. Over under 50, money line. My money, Indy's the better team, even though they're going to Detroit. I think 2.5 points is really easy. Maybe it's a trap game. I'm not sure. Either way, my pick, Colts. Take the point, 2.5. All right, now we head to another game that's pretty interesting, and I'm actually excited how this game is going to play out. It's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders and, the Browns. The Browns lost OBJ. They have a great rushing attack, probably the best in the league, not numbers-wise, I'm just saying, debatably one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. But now they don't have OBJ, so now they're even more one-dimensional than they were before. OBJ with a ACL tear. Las Vegas coming off an absolute walloping from the Bucs. I think the Raiders are going to be pissed. They have a really good pass game. Carr, not the most consistent. Can make plays when he has to. Great wide receiver core. And the Browns secondary is 30th in yards per game. Yikes. So, Browns being one-dimensional. Raiders being pissed off. I really think this is a comeback game for the Raiders. Browns, I think, are going to be down a little bit. The Raiders are the Raiders are a dog too. I like the points. I like the underdog. I actually like the money line Raiders and the points. I know you can't pick both, but whichever way you want to go, I like the points. But I also like the Raiders straight up on the money line to beat the Browns. All right, now we get to the debut of Tua. We go the Rams, the Dolphins. I don't think it's going to be that great of a game, to be honest. Regardless of what you think about Tua and the Tua change, the Dolphins are 3-3. As much as I understand the change, I don't think it was the right time to bring Tua in, especially this year. That's a little bit crazy. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't think it's ready to bring Tua in 3-3. I believe the Dodgers. I believe the Dolphins are 3-3. I just don't think it was time. I think he had more time to kind of learn and develop a little bit more under a very intelligent quarterback. But the move happened, and unfortunately, his first game is going to be against Aaron Donald. Good luck, Tua. Yes, he's clearly can move left or right. He's very elusive, but man, your first game against Aaron Donald and the rest of that defensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, holy hell. Donald cannot wait to introduce Tua to the NFL. That's going to be brutal. Miami has a good defense too. Not saying they don't. You saw last week the Rams against the Bears. Bears have a much better defense than Miami. But you see when the Rams go up against a good defense, they can't put up those 30, 40 points like they used to. But I just think, starting with Tua, your first game against that dominant defensive line, I just don't see it happening. I don't see a ton of points being scored in this game. I think the Dolphins hold the Rams pretty well. But, number 2 and number 3, points allowed defensively doesn't speak for a lot of points. Tua, Miami's defense is good, obviously, as well with yards per game. I just don't see it happening. The over-under is only 46. The Rams are a 3-point favorite, but honestly, I like this game for the over-under. Under 46, I just don't see the Dolphins being able to put up a lot of points. Yes, Tua is talented, but man, this Rams defense is hungry, and they're going to go get him. All right, now we head to the rematch. I believe it was week 1. The Vikings, the Packers. A lot of points in week 1. 77 points total in week 1. I just don't see that happening again. Green Bay puts up 32 a game. However, the Vikings continue to allow 30 points a game. Packers have shown outside of the Bucs game that they can move the ball however and whenever they want. I believe Aaron Jones is back. I could be wrong. I believe it was only a 1-week thing. So the Packers offense not going to change. They're going to put up points. Kirk Cousins, high potential for him to have a 2020 season. I believe right now he's at 11 touchdowns, I think 10 picks. Good Lord, we're in week 8. That's brutal. Any turnovers to this Packers defense is going to absolutely kill you. I don't think the Vikings put up 34 points again. I just don't see it happening. The Packers are a 7-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. Because of week 1, 77 points, yes, I think it was an anomaly. However, I see the Packers easily putting up 30 to 35. I do think the Vikings are going to put up enough to cover that over-under. So my money, what I would do, take the over, take the 50.5, and just pray Kirk Cousins doesn't have a 4-pick game. All right, now we head to one of the most interesting games, I think, just because I'm curious as to what's going to happen. We got the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's an odd team. Started 4-0. Granted, didn't hammer people. They weren't winning by 30 points, but they were finding ways to win games. Their defense stood up when it needed to, and the offense was putting up points. Since then, yes, they played the Titans. Yes, they played the Chiefs, but I think they've been exposed in those two games. To not even talk about last week with the 74,000 field goal attempts against the Jets, and they couldn't even get into the end zone. Moved the ball at will against the Jets like every other high school team could do, but just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. Only won by 8. Killed my spread as it was 10. Brutal. No idea what these Bills are going to be like. On the flip side, Cam was benched last week. As of this recording, I think Cam's still going to start. I haven't heard any indication otherwise. Which means Cam's playing for his life here. Cam's playing for his starting position. And when someone does that, they're going to play. They're going to really, really play. And I don't know what Bills team we're going to get. You sure as hell don't know what Cam you're going to get. However, he's playing for his position. He's playing for his starting spot. This game is really interesting to see which team wants it more. And really, I think that's what it's going to come down to. Which team wants it more? Buffalo's still not out of their slump, I don't think. The 2 losing streak and then the pitiful game last week. Both teams don't stop the run very well. It's going to be interesting. I really don't know what to think from this game because of that, because of the poor run defenses, because of the Cam that I don't know that we're going to get. Because of Buffalo, who God knows what they're going to do this week. I probably will not bet this game at all because I just don't know. But if I had to pick, the over-under is 41.5. for Cam fighting for his potentially starting spot and the Bills with their decent offense, I think that's very low. I think it's super low. And I think 41.5 is too low. So if I was going to bet, I would bet the over 41.5 and just hope for, 21 points from each team. I don't think that's too hard to ask for. That's where I'd put the money. Patriots, Bills, take the over 41.5. Whew, what a great game this is going to be. Probably the game of the week. Incredible. I can't wait to watch it. I'm just kidding. It's the Chiefs and the Jets. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. The Jets suck. A real possibility they go 0-16 here. It doesn't matter whether it's Flacco, whether it's Darnold. The Jets all around just stink. They're terrible. Absolutely no need to rattle off stats. Defense this, offense this. No. Chiefs are good. Great. Jets are pathetic. Might not win a game this year. It's just the way that it is. This is the biggest spread, I believe, of the NFL season so far. 19.5 to Kansas City. The over-under is 49. I really think 19.5 is too low. Yes, for betting purposes, it can't be too high because then it's just silly. But this game has the makings of a 38-0, 45-3 type of game. It's just that crazy. The ends of the spectrum these two teams are. Not really much to say about it. Jets are pathetic. Chiefs can score 19.5. Take the Chiefs, take the points. I highly doubt they don't win by more than 19.5. Now we move to the game of the week. Teased your last pick. This time, not going to tease you. The actual game of the week. Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, 6-0, 5-1. I don't believe this game is flexed. I don't know why it wouldn't be flexed. I think that's stuff towards the end of the year, but good God, it's COVID season. Flex this freaking game to where it belongs. Pittsburgh and Tennessee should have been flexed last week, even though I love my Hawks and it turned out to be a great game. Pittsburgh still should have been flexed. And they should be flexed again this week, simply because 11-1 combined, great early season game, and I'm excited for this. Stout defenses on both sides. Offenses that can get the job done. Not mind-blowing numbers. Not seeing Big Ben with 350. You're not seeing Lamar tossing for 325 every week. These teams just find ways to win. They run the ball. They make defensive stops. They score points. It's all around good football. They both run the ball well. They both move the chains. Obviously, Lamar can move the chains with his feet as well. I just love it. Pittsburgh played a great game last week against Tennessee. Yes, they almost blew it, but man, those first, 2.5 quarters or so, good Lord, played incredible. They held Derrick Henry. I believe he only had 75 yards. It's statistically still a great game, but man, Derrick Henry-wise, nah. Number one rushing offense in Baltimore, and Pittsburgh is a great rushing defense. So, I'm really curious how this is going to play out. I really think this game relies on Lamar Jackson to not make those mistakes. No clue who's going to win this game. But I think this game comes down to Lamar Jackson not making mistakes with his arm, taking the field with his legs whenever he can, being smart. But I believe it's going to be two teams that are going to beat the hell out of each other all game long, and it's going to be incredible. For betting purposes, I'm absolutely not going to touch this game at all. I have no idea even what to do for this. Baltimore's 3.5-point favorites. I mean, it's Baltimore. I get it, but Pittsburgh 6-0. I don't know. The over-under is 46.5. If I absolutely gun to my head, had to put money on this game, I would put money on the under. 24-21 type game seems really logical here. The offense are great, but I think the defenses are what takes this game and takes control of it. So again, I'm not betting it, but if I absolutely had to, I'd probably take the points, or take the total under 46.5. All right, next up, we head to Cincinnati, where the Tennessee Titans, coming off that brutal loss because of Stephen Gostkowski, up against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Records-wise, you look at this game, 5-1, 1-5-1. Easy peasy, right? The spread's only 5.5. For a 5-1 team and a 1-5-1 team, the spread should be much higher than 5.5. However, the Bengals are not really a 1-5-1 team. Yes, they are, but man, they can put up points. They battle. I have to admit, I did not think Joe Burrow would blossom this fast. Yes, he still has a lot of learning to do, but man, he is doing a lot more than I thought he would do already, especially with that team. Joe Burrow is going to be a good one, and I will admit I didn't see that coming so quickly. We're in week 8, and he's keeping Cincy in a lot of games with his decision making. So, outside of the blowout, 4 of Cincy's 5 losses, less than 5 points. Less than 5 points. Less than 1 possession. Burrow competes. He keeps his team in the game. They're going to keep getting better and better. No, I don't think they're going to beat the Titans. I'm not saying that. But I just think the point spread is low for a reason. They're not a 1-5-1 team. This game's going to be a lot closer than I think people think. Not to take anything away from Tennessee at all. I mean, they technically have a chance. Should have had a chance at 6-0 if their kicker actually knew what he was doing. I just think Cincinnati's a lot better than 1-5-1. Take out both quarterbacks, Titans have the MVP, Derrick Henry. 110 yards a game, scored in his last 4. Since he has a terrible, terrible rush defense, one of the worst, 28th in the league, Derrick Henry is going to do whatever he wants against this Cincinnati defense. I don't think it's going to blow out. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Joe Burrow is going to do what he can to keep this, to keep it close. It's not going to do anything, though. Tennessee's still the better team. Props to Cincinnati, but Tennessee is going to cover the 5.5, I think. Even on the road, they're the better team. Burrow's still going to prove some people, still make some good plays, but Tennessee's just too good. Their defense is too good, and Derrick Henry is just too good. Take the points, take Titans to cover the 5.5. All right, we head to Mile High. AFC West rivalry matchup. We got the Chargers and the Broncos. Both teams 2-4. Both teams classic cases of beating who they should, losing to who they should lose to. Both teams give up exactly 25 points a game. Starting to see what's going on here. These teams are very, very, very similar. The one difference, the main difference, Justin Herbert, Drew Lock. Drew Lock coming back from injury has not been the same. I think he's only completing 50-ish% of his passes. Not great. Justin Herbert, another rookie, just like Joe Burrow, who I didn't expect to be so good so quick. Yes, they're 2-4, but man, he is making plays. He's smart, just like he was at Oregon, baby. He continues to improve and get better, and I just think Locke is just struggling to get his footing after he came back from that injury. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 44.5. I don't trust the Broncos to score enough to cover that 44.5. Yes, it's kind of a lowish number, but I just 2.5 points to the Chargers, the better quarterback. I would rather put my money on the Chargers. Again, this is a game I'm probably not going to bet, but if I had to, Chargers minus 2.5. All right, now we head to an important game in the NFC. Got the 4-2 Saints going to Chicago to face the 5-2 Bears. Very interesting game here. The Bears' offense is not good. I don't trust Nick Foles, but their defense is so good. It's keeping them in games. They're allowing right at 20 points a game. Your defense allows 20 points a game. You're going to have chances to come back, make that last drive, and win games. I just don't trust the offense. Nick Foles looks completely lost at times. He's only thrown 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games after his 3-touchdown performance in Week 1. I don't know if defenses have locked in on him, or what I think is it was just a fluke in Week 1. I don't think Nick Foles is very good. The Bears' offense is not very good. Their defense is obviously what's keeping them in games. The Saints have won 3 straight. However, their last 4 games have only been 1-score matchups. So they're not blowing people out like the Saints of old. As of this recording, Michael Thomas did practice, Don't know if that means he's going to play, but he did practice today. I didn't see if it was a full participation or if he just kind of got his feet wet. So that's going to play a little bit of a factor. So this game might be completely different come Sunday. And I believe Emmanuel Sanders might be out as well. So really interesting game. Bears on the defensive side. The Saints keeping games close. I just don't trust Nick Foles. And I think the Bears will clamp down on Drew Brees. I don't like the Bears for the money line, but the Bears are 4.5-point dogs, and the over/under is 43.5. Yes, it's the Saints. Bears are at home. Their defense is great. I would rather take the Bears plus 4.5. Don't think they'll win the game, but I think 4.5 is very realistic for the Bears to try and cover. All right. Now we got to talk about my Seahawks. And the San Francisco 49ers. Our arch nemesis, our arch rivals. I really don't know what to say about Seattle. Everyone already knows the team that we are. Worst passing defense in the league. We have no quarterback pressure at all. Our D-line is not good. If you look at our defensive stats, yes, we're last in passing yards per game. Oh, yay, we're 13th in rushing yards per game. That's because nobody has to run the ball. They just throw the ball in the air and they can get 900 yards a game. No one needs to run. It's pathetic. Our defense is not good. San Francisco doesn't necessarily pass the ball very well, but I don't think that's going to matter. Anybody could find holes in this defense. I love my Hawks, but our passing defense absolutely terrible. It's nowhere. No one's even close to allowing the yards that we do. I expect an easy 250, 300-yard game from Jimmy G. Kittle is going to absolutely tear us apart. San Francisco's defense is very good, but I don't think that matters. Russ is going to cook like he always does. He's not going to have a repeat performance versus Arizona. He's not going to throw 3 picks. I like this game for being a high-scoring game, just like the Hawks' first 6 games were. I don't see it changing now. And it's a divisional matchup. It's a rivalry game. I expect this game to be physical, a lot of points, a lot of big plays on both sides of the ball. 2.5-point favorites for the Seahawks at home. The over-under is 54. The Hawks are 4-2 across the spread. Both the games they've lost across the spread have been by 1 point. 1 point. 54, I think, is super low here. I don't think the total ends under 54. I think that's crazy. I would probably put my lock of the week on the over in Seattle. 54 points. Take the points. Take the total. Take the money. Win, 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 win. All right, last game of the week, last game of the video. We'll do the Monday night game in a separate video. Sunday night football this week. Wish this was not the Sunday night game. Like I said, the Steelers and Ravens should be in this spot, not the Eagles and Cowboys. But alas, we have the Cowboys, we have the Eagles, and my oh my, is this game going to be terrible. Both teams are absolutely awful. Carson Wentz is bad. Dak is hurt. Dalton was obliterated last week. I don't think he's going to play this week because of that concussion. So we're looking at Nick DiNucci, the 7th-round pick out of James Madison. I mean, what are you going to do? These Cowboys scored 3 points against Washington last week. I mean, I hope Dalton plays, but he hasn't even practiced as of this recording. Today's Thursday. I highly doubt he's going to go through concussion protocol and pass it so we can play. If he does, great. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see Carson Wentz versus Nick DiNucci. The Eagles allow a lot of points, or they don't allow a lot of yards. I'm sorry, they're 12th in yards allowed, even though they're not a very good team. So keeping DiNucci under control, I don't think is going to be a problem. Dallas obviously has problems moving the ball. Zeke's not going to be able to do much because they're going to clamp down on that defensive line because they know DiNucci's not going to beat him. I think it's going to be very, very tough. Dallas is 0-7 across the spread this year. It's 8.5. I believe this game opened up as a 2.5 or 3.5 point difference. I think once Dalton went out, this jumped. It's 8.5 right now. The over/under is 43, but man, I don't like either team. I think both teams are poor. However, because of Ben DiNucci, because of how dreadful this Cowboys offense is, even though the total's 8.5, or the points are 8.5 for the Eagles, I do think they cover that because I just don't see the Cowboys scoring at all unless it's some sort of defensive fluke. So if I were going to bet it, I take the Eagles. I take them to cover the 8.5 points and drop Dallas to 0-8 on the spread across the year. All right, guys, so that's it. That's my Week 8 picks. We'll do the Monday picks, or the Monday pick in a later video. These are my picks for Sunday, just the Sunday slate. Guys, I'm still kind of getting used to this. Things are going to change as I go. If you have any ideas for things you'd want to see, graphics on the screen, things that visually make these videos better, please let me know. I take constructive criticism very, very well. I want to make these videos better. Again, I'm making them for you. I want you guys to enjoy them. So please let me know what you'd like to see. Tell me what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Tell me what you're betting this week. Where are you putting your money this week? Put it in the comments. Guys, description below. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. I do live stream as well. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Go win some money this weekend, and good luck. See you later.